Welcome to my 600th video, everyone. I'm finally going to review a movie, but you can obviously tell what it is. And you're about to see my new look. Ta-da! I'm a clown. Kind of like the Joker says. Let's put a smile on that face. But seriously, I had to get these kinds of makeup things right here. This is the closest thing, and you're gonna get to see a clown like me look like this. I couldn't afford to get clown outfits. Had to put makeup all over my face. And let me assure you, this is not my beard. This is actually makeup, the black stuff. I do look pretty scary, don't I? Also, I kind of look like those guys from that Batman Forever, those thug guys. I'm just dressing up at this kind of occasion, and just to review a movie that I've been dying to talk about. See what I did there, since we're close to almost the end of this month. Anyways, I look pretty good in the wig costume. I'll probably leave this makeup up on for a while until I'm done reviewing a certain movie you'll basically know that's been around. Sorry, got something in my throat. A few interesting characters that have been around since the late 80s. Those cute little creatures called smurfs. So, here we go. I hooked up the PS4, or so the PS3 does not work too well. So you won't begin any jokes from me saying, why, the chicken crossed the road just to get the other side. That joke's been outdated since, well, forever. I was gonna be a mine because those things are harmless to people just being trapped in boxes. Enough of that. We're not talking about my makeup here. We're gonna talk about a movie, which I'm pretty sure hopefully I won't get copyrighted for this. I already watched this movie a few times before. Or I had to start a review. The movie's called Smurfs Lost Village. Oh yeah, right. I keep forgetting this is a Blu-ray movie. They always do that every time you put a movie on. So yeah, makes sense. Okay, let me just go ahead and set this up. And say it right now, I do love the Smurfs. I've been reviewing the Smurfs video games based off the show for a long time. I've talked about the Super Nintendo. Oh, the Genesis one. There's the PlayStation 1. I'm not kidding, there's PlayStation 1 games. aka Voice of Wander. Wander of Yonder. Jack McBarrett. Taylor, whatever. And I know what you're thinking. Why am I talking about the third movie and not the live-action movies? As we all know that those movies bomb in the box office on how much they sell. Let's just say they did not turn out as well as people say. In other words, they kind of did not work well in live-action movies. That after all these years, they finally finally made it to like all 3D model. Also, fun fact, there was like the short cartoons that were 2D before we got the 3D movie that came out in 2017. Anyhow, get this one over with. I did try to review this movie a long time ago on my old tablet before I ran out. Now in this movie, these are like the actual characters. There's like Jokey, Lefty, Brainy, Papa Smurf, Herfty, and the one that started it all as the female group. Hold on a second.
Smurfette.
Yes, smurfette. But she was not born as a smurf. She was created by Gargamel to dispose of the smurfs once for all, but she had a change of heart thanks to the Papa Smurfs that changed her life forever. And she had felt like she doesn't belong there. You know, she's been with the Smurfs since the 80s. To not show too much clips of the movie, you have to see it for yourself. The basic plot of this movie is her finding more Smurfs compared to, well, all male Smurfs. While that's happening, the legendary villain that's been around since the franchise started, Gargamel, which I find him pretty much the most cliche of all villains. Even though in the old Smurfs cartoon he wants to eat them or turn them into gold. In the live-action movie, he wants to use their essence to become powerful. This one, kind of the same. Become super powerful magician to rule the world. Along with his hench cat, Pet Azrael, and a new character named Monty, a dim-witted bird who serves Gargamel, being his henchman, Pet. Now in this movie, it's up to our main characters, well, Smurfette and the others, to find the lost village. And then they discover there's like more than male Smurfs. So, to not show too much of the movie, which I hope I won't get copyrighted for this. I mean, when I do video games, I don't get copyrighted stuff like that. It does have some good humor in it. It's funny, it's wacky, weird. It took them like a long time to do like the characters that we've been waiting for. The voice acting to these characters really fit their characters pretty well. It's kind of a shame that Rotten Tomatoes gets us like 37% on how much. Actually does not hold up too well. Also, I feel like I'm the only person that's talking about this movie this year, and hardly anybody knows this movie existed. Also, Sony Entertainment took a long time to do great animations. It's like this movie right here. How the characters move, they kind of remind me of the Cloudy Chance of Meatballs movies, Hotel Transylvania movies, etc., so far, so forth. It's basically meant for little kids. Not to give too much away. You know, I keep spoiling almost scenes from most of the movies. I would just say it is worth your time if you are a huge Smurf fan. The backgrounds and everything of the characters' developments worked pretty well. At least in this one, they don't have to keep on referring to the word smurfs in every each of their sentences. I'm glad they kind of changed that in this movie because it gets really, really annoying after a while. On here, they're talking like normal people would do. Sure, in the 80s, they would have their rhyme or reason to say that.
Well done, Herfty.
I will not say, I wouldn't lie that Smurfette is one of my most favorite characters in the movie. Because in the last Smurfs 2 movie, she was the main focus on there. On here, they're trying to find out if she's very special to them. Even though we all know that she's kind-hearted, she's good, she's loyal to the other Smurfs, she's very gentle, she becomes like the most reasonable person there is. Smurf. The only really good parts of this movie is the animation looks pretty really well done. I kind of remember watching this movie and Brainy is not as annoying as he was in the 80s. Jokey, the Smurf is still likable. All I can hear is like Wander over Yonder's voicing him. I do know Gargamel, and his goal is to find the Lost Village and use all the Smurf's essence, but you already know that. And uses that green stuff to freeze them. Then it only works on real Smurfs. But for Smurfette, she's like a lump of clay. That's how Gargamel made her that way. Also, there's like this random scene here. Here that brainy brains Herfty, and it goes on like after 2 scenes later, and some other Smurfs there actually are females. I'm only doing this as a little spoiler scene. There's that character named Smurf Blossom, who's very hyperactive at her age. Reminds me of Mabel from Gravity Falls. I mean, if you're like a huge Smurf fan, you might give this movie a try. There's also songs in this movie, which I will not play because of copyright royalty on YouTube. I would say this movie is being in the okay mode. If you want to show this for little children, that's good. If you don't like most 3D or you want to watch the 2D animated show better, give it a try. Also, this is actually supposed to be the 4th Smurfs movie. The real Smurf movie, first movie was actually the 80s one. I'm not kidding. There was actually the real first animated Smurfs movie that ever existed. And they don't show up until every 50 minutes in because we have the main character Peely and Prince John on in it. Not to confuse the name John, but with the Jon. I mean, those of you who watch like lots of Smurfs movies episodes like I do. Believe me, they might be worth your time. But to make this review a bit short as possible, well, it's kind of reasonable that most kids will almost forget that this movie existed, and they'll pretty much remember watching the live action ones compared to this one. I mean, they were gonna make this into a fully length animated movie. To not give too much away, you might have to see the movie all to yourself. It's kind of reasonably interesting. It's kind of in the word promising. Or what's the most reasonable word I can come up with? Acceptable. Alright movie. It made me laugh. It made me cry. But you'll find out why, those of you who watched this movie before. I would say it's worth seeing probably once or twice or 3 more times. I mean, if you're like a huge Smurf fan like I am, it did seem to have low reviews. It was on Rotten Tomatoes. But I still think this movie deserves another chance. And like any type of movies I watched so far, and lots of people that review this one, it needs like better character development. I mean, the film is only like nearly an hour and 29 minutes. I mean, what else is there? Well, besides special features and other extras. This movie does need to be maybe an hour and 40 minutes longer. Like, what if they encounter like monsters before Gargamel catches up to them? All kinds of crazy things happening to them. That'd be so awesome if something like that would happen. But nope. The movie was only like an hour, 29 minutes in, and I get it. They need to put extra short minute times. And there goes my stuff. Yep, they're falling down. They're falling down. Pick them up later. I mean, if you're like a huge Smurf fan, it'll be better if you're a bit drunk. On drinking A&W of ice. Yep, it's a party. So that's all I can say for now. Great animation, great voice acting, beautiful backgrounds. It's simple for children to watch. I almost forgot to mention there was like this little ladybug that does like technology, and there was like music reference to George or something, whatever his name is. So yeah, I give this Smurfs movie a solid 7 out of 10. So I'll see you guys on the next video later. So like the Joker says, "Hey, sad clown, turn that frown around." See ya.